What's wrong? This Liverpool team, so good last year in every competition. You know what I mean? Can tear a team apart. I've been on, you know what I mean? I've been Arsenal, Anfield. I've been on the end of it many a times.
Many a times, yeah. Seen you in the car park crying.
No, not in the car park crying.
I have linked you in the car park a couple of times.
You will be there crying now, right? But what's gone wrong? What's up?
Well, Liverpool are out of the Champions League, and I've got to say the manager's got to be out now as well. No, I'm sorry, that was what you said last week, sorry.
Well, listen, you know what, I can run jokes, you can't.
Listen, if I can't run jokes, then what am I? I'm a joke man. I make jokes. That was funny,
Come on, man,
no, listen,
what's wrong?
Well, the thing is, we say what's wrong, but the first 20 minutes of the Madrid game, we were saying Liverpool are back, weren't we? 2-0 against the European champions after 20 minutes. That was the best 20 minutes I've experienced ever at Anfield, by the way. So we look like we're back for 20 minutes, and then as you've seen from that start, we don't continue that run through into the second half. So I think energy is
defence or
midfield and defence. I think again, I mean Henderson blocking that Trent free kick, that just sums up Liverpool's season. That was going in because the keeper was rooted, by the way. That was top bins, and even Trent. It was almost as if he'd had a penalty saved. He was that gutted. But I think the energy levels in the second half especially, that's one thing that Liverpool haven't been able to keep up. And I think when there's no Mane, who was non-stop, he was a Duracell battery. He never stopped, did he, from minute 1 to 90. That makes a big damage to the team. But then his replacement, Diaz, is also out. But the answer is the midfield and the defence.
What do you think's going wrong, Matisse, at Liverpool?
I'm just, to be honest, I'm more disappointed in Palace is what I'm taking away from that game. They haven't won a game this year, but if Eze had started when he came on, that 10-minute spell, 15-minute spell when he was on,
some player he is.
Yeah,
by the way.
he changed the flow of the game, and then obviously Milner was at right back. He went off to the left, caused a few problems, and then it kind of fizzled out again. Like you said, Mateta up front and Jordan Ayew, both of them, so frustrating to watch.
Yeah.
Whether it's crossing the ball, Jordan Ayew out for a goal kick, whether it's Mateta missing a couple of big opportunities. If Palace had a striker, they might actually be able to cook something because Liverpool were there for the taking.
Zaha as well.
Yeah, no Zaha as well. Liverpool were there for the taking. And I feel like with Liverpool, everybody keeps kind of jumping on a couple wins and then, one good result and then, they're going to go on this run. They're not going on any run. Ooh. They're not going on any run. I've said it from months ago. It's not happening. Okay. At the end of the day, when it comes down to Liverpool, their issues are fundamental, and Klopp is also part of the problem in terms of his in-game management. When you're 2-0 up against Real Madrid and you just allow it, the first goal's pegged back, cool, that's your warning. Now it's time to tighten up the ship. Look at Ten Hag and what he's done at Manchester United in the last week. His in-game management has been brilliant. Klopp is not impacting the football game from the touchline. He's not making any sort of change. He's not changing the flow of the game. He's not making any impact. And I know because I'm seeing it right in front of my eyes and my team as well. So you can see very clearly when a manager is able to make an impact and when a manager is not, and when they're not really having any sort of grasp on the game and the game's just passing them by. That's what's happening, in my opinion, anyway.
Abby, do you think they can catch you for that top 4 spot?
I would never write them out of catching us because I would always say that Tottenham have the ability to be completely inconsistent, despite what's happened in the last few weeks. Do I think that you've got a lot of improving to do, and I don't necessarily know if you're going to do it this season because I look at that midfield and I don't see a midfield that's like worthy of Liverpool at the moment. There are so many levels below what you'd expect from Liverpool, and that's just, I think, because of age. I think maybe because of you're at the end of a cycle, and I think that it's we've been saying the same thing. Defence and midfield is the big problem. Obviously, you've had injuries throughout the course of this season, but they're just in a bit of a dead end cycle at the moment, and that cycle needs to finish in the summer. But I would never write them out of potentially getting back into it because it is only 9 points. I don't think that's
go on a run, these are the games coming up for them. They've got Wolves at home. Wolves always a team that sort of give you a little issue, but that's on Wednesday. Wolves at home. Man United at home. That's a big game now, isn't it?
Huge.
Next week, Sunday. Followed by Bournemouth away. Then you've got the next tie against Real Madrid. I guess you write that off. And then Fulham at home. And then Man City away. I mean, some big games coming up in that.
Who are your games?
If it's to go on a run.
I actually don't know. It'll be one of them.
You got two or one?
We've got two against over you, but then obviously you've got to come. It'll be one of those two. I think Matisse's point about the in-game management.
It's probably the game on Wednesday, isn't it? Probably Wolves.
Probably is, yeah. I'll be at that game. I think Matisse's point about the in-game management is valid because we're looking to win the game. You take Trent off and put James Milner on a right back, and you bring Fabinho on. That to me says you're trying to see out a win.
See out a point.
See out a point.
Yeah.
Where you've got Fabio Carvalho on the bench.
Yep.
I don't know what he's
like
done, by the way.
You're being slightly more critical.
Getting a game Carvalho,
no, that's what I'm...
You're just calling it as
he
a
doesn't
skip.
escape it.
No, I know. You've been very...
I love the guy, but... You know, his in-game management needs to...
Been very rigid on that.
Right, Klopp out, come on.
I know you guys are... You guys are praying for me to say those fable words.
Is he running out of time?
No, he's not.
I'm just like, it's a legitimate question to ask.
That sounded like a little bit more...
It's not.
Next week.
I won't let you go through this again, right? When I'm criticising Klopp's in-game management, it's because of what you just said. You take off your most creative player in Trent. You don't use Carvalho. You're bringing on Fabinho, who's been awful since the start of last year. He only makes you weaker when he comes on at the moment. The amount of mistakes he's making.
He's a walking red card.
He's a walking red card, exactly. But that doesn't mean Klopp's time is running out because he's got so much credit in the bank. Like a ridiculous amount of credit.
I get that.
In his press conference this week, he almost lifted the lid on the plans in the summer.
Yeah.
And that really... encouraged Liverpool fans. He said we have to go massive in the summer is what he said. 3 or 4 names coming in. So again, it's almost like, do you go everything in for this season to get top 4? Or do you kind of sit back and say let's rebuild in the summer? I'm like, as you know, I'm caught in between these two Venn diagram circles of being fully invested and going, I think, write it off then this season.
I think this season's a learning curve for Klopp, not to show too much loyalty to players that are starting to go on the downward trajectory and be a bit more ruthless. That's what I would say for Klopp. This season, learning curve. Don't make this mistake again next season. That's what I would say.
So we've got some comments coming in here and loads of super chats as well. Ahmed says Liverpool will be lucky to qualify for the Europa League next season. He says you're not passing Tottenham, Brentford, Brighton and Newcastle. SK says Liverpool, very simple. Midfield work rate has gone. Defence becomes they can't press or recover. Can't make up for Trent's deficiencies. The output is down. And Mitch 1992 says, woke up to a broken watch. It says 5 past Liverpool. That's a bit harsh.
A broken watch works twice a day, though. So let's not forget that.
So those are some of Liverpool's woes at the moment. But listen, it just goes to show the small margins in football, how football can change from week to week.
If we scored 1-0 that game, we'd all be talking about this nice little 3-game winning streak. But that's how football is. It changes every week.
Football does change every week.